At Nagico, the things that matter to you matter to us. Like your boat when you're at sea and you get away from everything. Your home and the security of your daughter's things. And the car that you've had for too long. But after all these years, you just can't let go. At Nagico, we're about much more than just insurance. We're about the big things and the small things that mean everything.
We're not just another Caribbean airport. We're an international gateway, designed with you, the traveler, in mind. SXM provides a state-of-the-art international travel experience where ease and convenience is second only to safety and efficiency. At SXM, we're taking travel and tourism to new heights. Here we boast spacious check-in areas, 10 passport control points, comfortable departure lounges, and an exciting new airport mall. Finally, there's an airport in the Caribbean that takes your travel plans as seriously as you do. Princess Juliana International Airport. The experience will move you.
Welcome to Late Night Show. Hope everything is okay. Hope everything is all right. I'm your host, Andrew Dick. Okay, dokie, kids, what's happening on the lovely Isle of St. Martin? We begin with the news of the police are out here stopping scooters specifically and also doing big busts. So we asked for something to be done with the violence that's been going on in St. Martin. So now they're actually doing something. So I think we should stop complaining and make sure we listen to the law when they're doing the controls, and we make their life a little bit easier while they get these dangerous weapons off the street. There are a number of unsolved murders that need much attention and information. So I hope that that's done as soon as possible so that we can find out who these killers is and why they did what they did and why they're using machine guns. Oh, you Lord. Okay. In other news, now going away as a student from St. Martin, we give you the tools and we tell you Excel. And when you Excel, you go and you go to foreign. So when you're foreign now, meaning you're off island and you're living your life as a student, the question is, who's going to check on you when you're going through tough times when studying? Who's going to check on you when, you need financial aid? Now, of course, St. Martin does what it can, but most of the times we're not too welcoming to students coming back to the island, which they from. Like most of them born here and they want to come back and do business, and we make it so hard for them. A good example is someone I interviewed recently. He is a nurse, a head nurse. He has a PhD, and he works in Brooklyn, New York. Yeah, you thought I was going to say St. Martin? Stop it now. Not possible. We don't give young people chances, right? Well, this young man decided to go to the Bronx and do his studies there, worked in the main hospital there, and now he's actually somebody there. So enjoy this interview I had with Mr. Alexander Gomes from St. Martin. I'm going to be talking to a professional today that from St. Martin that looks at the health situation completely different because he works in the United States. He's a big health administrator, a nurse by profession, and much more. And that is, let's give him a call right now because he's in the US, and we'll talk to him about.
Yeah, and you.
Hey, Alexander Gomes. Of course, he is. I was just introducing yourself before I bring you on, but you could introduce yourself Please, Alex, tell the people who you are and welcome to the Andrew Dick Show podcast.
Hi, my name is Alexander Gums. I'm better known as Dr. Gums. I got a doctorate degree in nursing. I'm a nurse practitioner here in New York. I own my own practice. I'm from St. Martin. Came up to New York about 30 years ago for school and stuff like that. And I got two masters. I got a bachelor's, and I got my doctorate last year.
So,
I'm
so you know a little bit about healthcare then.
I know a lot about healthcare. One of my masters is nurse practitioner of family health nurse practitioner, and the second one is a nurse practitioner in psychiatry. So I worked many years as a family nurse provider, and then I switched over to psychiatry, and I pretty much do both.
No, Alex, thanks so much for joining us. What I wanted to do is to give the people here and all over a bit of an indication of the healthcare system from a different point of view. This time from an outside point of view, instead of us complaining about the same things these past years, the waiting time, the lack of care, the new hospital. It looks like we worrying about the same things. I'm sure you were able to pay attention to the different governments that they have. You even decided to
Mm-hmm.
throw your hat in the ring, politically wise, during the last elections that we had. And but now that you're back home, I should say home because that's where you reside. Um, what do you think from an outside perspective as to where we are healthcare wise here in St. Martin?
Well, for my observation, St. Martin is still using the medical model, which means is a model that is outdated. St. Martin, if I'm not mistaken, they have only about 18 doctors, and St. Martin is a place where if you get sick, the only person you could see is a doctor. Whereas in the world, the real world, they have physician assistants, they have nurse practitioners, even to deliver babies, they have midwife. So the real world have already gone further in terms of care. Doctors, I work with a lot of doctors. Matter of fact, I train a lot of doctors that came from the University of St. Martin, the AUC. They do 2 years in St. Martin, and they come to America, and they come to one of my hospitals, and I actually train a lot of those residents
Oh,
to
nice.
become doctors. And in St. Martin, for example, in America, the doctors then, of course, they got specialists like cardiologists, they have urologists and stuff. But those are emergency. But just to bring down the cost for people, right? You can't go see a doctor all the time. You want to go see a provider, like a PA or a nurse practitioner. Number one, number one, it frees up the health system that the public could see more people as number one, and the cost goes down. The
So,
cost doesn't
so
go
just
up.
sorry. So just to be clear, the system we have now, whereby we go to a Dr. Bryson, we go to a Dr. Mercure. Yeah, they retired already, but I just give you an example. You go to your house doctor, and you want to see your house doctor. Is a old school model?
It's the old system. They doesn't do that anymore. Those systems, them, is the old. This system, them, in America. Matter of fact, the school that I went to, it is in the law that nurse practitioners, physician assistants, and medical students, we have to train together. We have to do the same rotation together. And the reason why we do it together to let us know, to train us, that no one is above each other. The patient is in the middle, and we all have our specialty in terms of giving care. Just like nurses. Nurses, they have different ranks of nurses from LPN, RN, then they have those with master's degree. The same thing in America with, a matter of fact, in Holland, they do have nurse practitioners in Holland. I find it strange, how come St. Martin, they want to go forward, but they only have doctors. You got to go see a doctor. You got to spend hours in line to see a doctor. It doesn't make no sense. And matter of fact, it's so strange because a university that produces a lot of doctors in the world, AUC, the doctors don't stay in St. Martin. They come work in America. They go England. They go different places. So what are we doing? What are we doing
What about
for the people?
what about the system of that one of the politicians, and well, I should say several politicians said that, since we go to Panama and we go to Dominica, Dominican Republic, we go to these Latin countries to get treated. Meanwhile, they can't even get a Latin doctor here to work. What about looking at it from that side?
So now, technically, the politicians and the ones who make the law, and if they does not know anything, right? How are they going to do something if they do not know about it? If they don't willing to get advice from people, from certain advice, not from
Do it.
foreigners,
Yeah.
like a person like from me, they would not want to listen to me. If I figure, I'm from St. Martin, what do I know? And then if I tell them my qualification, they're going to say, common sense is better than book sense. So they're going to always twist it, you know what I mean? And what they're going to do, they're going to hire experts. The experts are going to come in, they're going to mess up things, and then I'm the local person. They can come and ask, please help me. And I'm trying to prevent that. Come to me. I'm considered an expert. I mean, I've been in this for 20 years. At my hospital that I work, I have my own clinic. At my hospital, Brooklyn Hospital, Dr. Gumbs is the expert. When they call me, right, and I give my opinion, my recommendation, they follow it to a T. They does not deviate. They follow it to a T. And it hurts me that I'm a born St. Martino, that in a foreign country, they accept me.
They accept you.
They educate me. And they're giving me, I'm not doing it for the money, because trust me, in healthcare, there's so much you could make. It's all about the love. And I'm willing to come back to my island, not just help my family, but to help the whole island. And all I do is get roadblocks. I mean, I got to speak to 1,000,001 people. I got to do a whole lot of stuff. Of course, they want me to come back, Andrew Dick, but they want me to give back. Do you understand what I'm saying? They say, you got the knowledge. I want you to give it back. But if a foreigner comes from England or Holland, they're willing to give them the shirt off their back.
Yeah.
They're willing to give them a car, house, land, the whole nine. But I say, Martin, he got to give back.
You got to give back because we gave you your scholarship, I guess.
They never gave me my scholarship. Brooklyn Hospital paid for my degrees. No one ever paid for my degrees.
Wow.
So Martin never gave me, did nothing for me. And even if I go back and say I want to help them, they don't want the help from me, because what do I know?
Give me a indication of a normal day for you. What does Dr. Alexander Gumbs do on a daily basis when you work? So that people get an idea that you're the real deal.
So my clinic, I have a clinic in Syosset right next to the Syosset Hospital, which is owned by Northwell. Northwell have 22 clinics, 22 hospitals in the Long Island area of Connecticut, Staten Island. So my clinic is right next to them. So what I do, I get up in the morning, I go to the gym. After the gym, I go I check my schedule. Usually I have like 20 patients on my schedule. Sometimes I have like 6 new patients. So I have to give them psych eval. Sometimes I have patients that are going to come in, they want to get injection, long-acting injection for schizophrenia. So they come to my clinic. My clinic is dual. I practice medicine and psych together. First, I rule out the medicine part, because you all know a lot of disease that is medicine, physical, can mimic psych. And once I rule out those things in terms of the blood work, kidney and liver, everything working, thyroid function, vitamin B, and once I rule out all this stuff, I say, we're going to do this, a psych eval. So I give a psych eval. Then I have pretty much on a regular day, I have at least 2 to 3 students from different colleges that are doing the masters in psychiatry. So they come by me, some of them doing masters in education, some of them doing a masters in leadership. So they come to my clinic. So I start like 10 o'clock. By 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, I pretty much finish in terms of inpatient. Then I live about 4 blocks away from my clinic, so I go home, and then I continue seeing patient tele. That's something else that we have. We have tele, which means a person could be living in the Bronx. A person could be living upstate New York. They don't have to visit my clinic. I could see them through Zoom. I could treat them and everything like that. And that's like on a regular on Mondays. And Tuesdays, I get up in the morning, I go to the Brooklyn Hospital. I get to the Brooklyn Hospital, I got my own office there. I have assistants to come say, like, this is how much patient we're gonna have today. So I see a lot of patient, and then in case of emergency, in terms of the emergency department, they would call me say, like, this patient need a psych eval because the patient having suicide ideation, or the patient is on psych medication. I go down, I do my psych eval, I put in my recommendations. Then I meet with a couple of the directors, and we have plans. So right now at Griffin Hospital, I'm in charge of psychiatry. So I'm implementing a lot of programs in terms of postpartum depression. I'm implementing the program. So because we have a detox unit, people come in want to get off of benzos, they want to get off of marijuana, they want to get off of alcohol. I treat them because they have medication like that. Of course, all of those patients, then I make sure they have therapy on board. And then I do a lot of different flows and stuff like that. So they want me to do a lot of stuff in the Brooklyn Hospital in New York. So a lot of stuff that I'm doing, not only that I'm doing it, that I do programs like this Sunday past there. I went to a church and I'm teaching the church members them about mental health. Of course, in America we still have a stigma, you know what I mean, in terms of mental health. So my job is to spread the word and do a lot of teaching. And this is the kind of service that I do. And then of course I have at my clinic, I have other practitioners that works under me. At the hospital, I have other practitioners that work under me. So I pretty much do a lot of stuff. And to me, it's not really physical, it's mental. That's what I've been doing for many, many years. I became a nurse like in 2006. I became a nurse practitioner in 2015. I went back to school and got another master's in 2017. So, I've been doing it. This is what I do. I do this all day long.
If there's anything that nobody told you, Alex, just know that I am impressed and very proud of the fact that you continued your studies, even at your old age. I shouldn't say old age, sorry. At your age, you still continue to push. You still continue to get the knowledge, get the education, and then you still frustrated from far, even though you got everything you need up there, frustrated that you're seeing your island and just the 16 square miles, I should say, or the 37. At the same time, you still feel concerned because of the mistakes that you see us doing when it comes to healthcare on a whole. But it's a good thing you mentioned mental health, because I was going to ask. We don't really have problems because you in the Bronx, so you see what mental health really is over there.
Yeah.
Do we really have problems? Because here, we stick a needle in them, we inject them, and then we forget them in a room, and then hopefully in a year they come out perfect.
You see, like what I'm seeing in St. Martin, I'm seeing a problem that we solve it. You know what I mean? Like, for example, and this is how I try to put it for everybody to understand. We all know 2 + 2 is 4. It is what it is. St. Martin still, they're going through a phase, right, that they have a problem that the rest of the world have solved. Their problem is small. We got big problem. We got Trump. That is big problem. Mental is not our problem. You know what I mean? In terms of the medication-wise, I use a lot of medication. I have a lot of reps come to my office. They introduce new medication, not the old stuff, not lithium and Haldol. We have newer medication to tackle new stuff because we know now, fast forward, we know how the brains work. We know how the neurons work. We know how these stuff. There's something that I always remember, and I always tell my students, if you was to put a patient on a restraint, even on a 1-to-1, you have failed the patient.
Wow. Okay. That's
as a provider.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah, because we does not do that. You know what I'm saying? We are more modernized now. So I'm looking at the modern problem in terms of the foundation, the mental health foundation. I'm looking at the hospital. And this stuff is very small, Andrew Dick. You know what I mean? It's very, very small.
And it's treatable.
It is very treatable in terms of therapy, in terms of medication. You know what I mean? In terms of education, it is what it is. And I have sometimes when you have a lot of knowledge that you accumulate over the years that they
Yeah.
train you,
And you just
and
want to, you just want to chip in. You just want to help. And
yeah,
then you get
honestly,
into resistance, and then it's like, is it really worth it?
yeah, and I want for example, Andrew Dick, I'm not doing this for the money. Andrew Dick, listen to this.
I believe you.
I'm not. I'm not doing this. I have no. I have. What is it? I have
You're
no
okay.
skin in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're okay.
I don't have. I'm not doing this, but I live comfortable in America. My salary, even my profit on my clinic is a lot. You know, I'm in a hot commodity when it comes to
Brag about
mental
it. You
health.
work hard. Brag about it. You work hard.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so I make a lot of money, and a matter of fact, I'm getting a new contract from Brooklyn Hospital, and it's over 7 figures.
So
It's
you
over
want to
seven
give
figures.
back, and hopefully the
Yes,
government can hear
I want to give back.
the sincerity in your voice.
I want to give back the knowledge that I've accumulated. There's so much, and I that's why I teach. That's why I precept. And the reason why I do this stuff because if you get knowledge, you have to share it, not hold it to yourself. And that's what I want to do for my island, St. Martin. I want to help them because by me helping them, it's like I'm helping myself because I have family down there. You know what I mean? I have a mom, I got a dad, I got family in St. Martin. St. Martin is my roots. And if I come to America and they train me, St. Martin never once give me a dime. They never give me a scholarship. They never give me anything. Everything that I have accomplished, I accomplished from America. All my training and everything. And to look back, I've been in this for 20 years. This year made it 20 years. So now I want to give back to St. Martin. And why the pushback?
Why the pushback? I think because you
Why
decided
the
to put your hat in the ring, so they get to brand you. And at the same time, I like the fact that even after the elections, you were reaching out and still trying to give back. Hopefully, after they hear this interview, they can reach out and properly invite you to come on our dime, and
Mhm.
give at least a presentation to the parliament, and then we put it on their laps, because I talked to you several times, and I said, it's so unfortunate that you're not given a chance to at least contribute.
I was asked to develop a presentation, which I did. I had the presentation. It took me a couple of days to do it because that's what I've been doing.
Oh.
I do this kind of stuff, And so I did the presentation, but at the same time, as you can tell, I have a lot of stuff going on up here. But if they're willing, I reach out to a lot of people in St. Martin and say, I could help you. I could help you. I'm not there to take nothing from no one.
Yeah.
Nothing. I'm here to help. You understand what I'm saying? And I don't want your job. I don't want to shine. I don't want to do none of those things. And to tell you the truth, I'm not really a politician. I tried something to change.
Yeah,
but
no,
I
you're professional. You're professional that I just decided to throw their hat in the ring. That's what you are.
I am a provider. My job is, if you come to me and you're sick, is to help you, not figure out. If I know what the problem is, my job is to fix it, not to come up with a lot of pushback and let you.
Alex, I can't help but ask, do you prescribe paracetamol like the doctors here?
Yes, I prescribe everything. I have a DEA number, right? I prescribe and
it's a joke, Alex. It's a joke. It's a joke. Because they say every time you go to the doctor here in St. Martin, the best thing they give is a paracetamol. You got a headache, paracetamol. You got your fever, paracetamol.
I prescribe. Listen to this. My. I have a DEA number, and everybody knows what DEA stands for. It's one of those. You get a license from the Drug Enforcement Agency of America.
Uh-huh.
So I pretty much prescribe, and because I have two specialties, right? I prescribe from hypertensive medication. I prescribe Percocet. You name it, I prescribe it.
Okay.
I have the license to do that. The next thing that I do, I see patients from womb to tomb. So even if you're pregnant, I can see you. That's how I from womb to tomb. And I have total specialties. So there's nothing that I haven't done. As a matter of fact, I worked for Northwell for over 3 years, right? And I did a lot of admissions in terms of medicine-wise. And I mean, so I've been in the trenches.
All right. Final words, Alex. Final words to the St. Martin public, and of course, those who are listening all over the world?
So I will let them. This is my final word. I need St. Martin to have an open mind. Give the people of St. Martin who went away and accumulate knowledge and experience. Give them a chance to come back home and help. You know what I mean? My motto is that we all in this together. Give us a chance to help. We don't want to take nothing away. We want to give back. We don't want to come there for salary because we all know a lot of us doesn't go back to St. Martin because when we are away, we get enough money. You know what I mean? Why go back to St. Martin? It's hard to go back to your island when you're going to get a lot of roadblocks. They're going to say you don't know what you're talking about, or you're overqualified, or you know what I mean? It's a lot of stuff. So sometimes we don't want to be bothered. So give us a chance, right, to come back and do something, not just say it. Not just say it. Give us a chance, right, to come back home and make a change.
Talk.
If we as partners can't take care of our island, who do you think going to take care of it?
Thank you, Alex. We keep on touch, and once again, proud of you.
Time for commercial break. When we come back, more late night. Stay with us.
I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. You come around, yeah. You ease my mind, you make everything feel fine. Worry about those comments, I'm way too numb, yeah. It's way too dumb, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time. I need the hype, throw that to the side, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. When you're not around, when you throw that to the side, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time.
Having trouble with my internet. It's dropping in my bedroom and the kitchen.
Problem with your internet is your Wi-Fi. You see, things like the size of your house, the building materials you use, like concrete walls, whether you have multiple floors. And let's not forget the distance between your modem and your devices, like your computer, your phone, TV. All these have an effect on the quality and strength of your Wi-Fi.
How do you know this stuff?
You need to check Telem. They have mesh devices that allow you to create your own smart Wi-Fi network to cover your entire home. It's a few small devices working together like a team to cover your entire house with strong Wi-Fi signal. Super easy. Here, I get one from Telem today. Download the app from your phone app store, plug in the device, and plug into the modem. When light blinks blue, it's ready to pair via the app. Go to app, click next, and follow the instruction. Place a second device where you need coverage. Boom. Now you're covered. Telem makes it super easy. They offer convenient payment plans of just $12 a month. My guy, and if you opt to get the fiber plan, they'll come and install it for you. Guess what? For free.
Oh, wow. I'm gonna get my smart Wi-Fi plan today.
Hey, let's do this thing.
Day self.
Get your smart Wi-Fi from Telem today.
Welcome back. Now it's time for your flashback.
Steve,
Good afternoon.
how you doing, sir?
We are in the busy period, but we are doing okay.
Now, of course, you are, well, the police is working on an action. At least letting people know what's happening as far as the parking is concerned. I know this has been an issue for quite some time.
Yeah, it's been reported several times by us in the press about the situation and the parking in Phillipsburg in general, but on Front Street and the boardwalk as our principal problem. And the main issue we are being caught up with, that it's turning such a headache and it's nearly being uncontrollable. And our main point is that we, sooner or later, we spoke about it enough, and now it's time most likely we're going over to action. So this is one of those days that we're going to have this talk, and with seeing the situation, you will understand what the idea is and what we're going to plan to do in the following couple weeks.
course, you always get they have those parking where you want me to park. They have the spaces, you get that all the time.
And you know what's funny about life? Anywhere else in the world you go, you have to park 5, 50, 100, maybe sometimes 500 meters away just to get where you're going. I know we have this, I call it a bad habit, that we want to park literally where we want to go, in front of the store. And if it leaves to us, we would go in the store with a car without the vehicle itself.
Yeah, of course.
So,
but that's the thing, I think maybe we get spoiled over the years.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure that it's been a long time. That person always, look for parking elsewhere and so on. So, what's going to be the consequence?
yeah, let's talk about the parking and location in particular. There are certain places whereby in Phillipsburg there's parking, paid parking,
Like this?
in the government parking lot. And these are the issues we're dealing with daily.
What do you mean?
This is what I mean. This hinders a lot of the free flow of traffic. Imagine at the moment that the fire department has to pass in here, and the consequences of having this car blocking this part of the road at the moment.
Yeah. And then also I see there's
The van. So we're asking these persons. I know it's convenient, but these are the issues we have been speaking about over the last year.
Yeah. Let me see. Okay, so that's Back Street.
That's Back Street.
Now going through the alley.
And remember, Front Street is as a Dutch, an algemene stopverbod. Is a no parking stopping area.
Where?
It is.
It's news to me.
There's certain places, it's always been, there's certain places that you're allowed to drop off and pick up persons. That's always possible. But Front Street is a no parking area.
Okay.
There are certain persons who have private parking locations, but all of these are designated.
Okay. So let's say, for example, in this alley, going through Back Street, going on to Front Street, there's a vehicle there.
There's a vehicle.
So is that supposed to be there?
According to me, legally, it shouldn't be there unless they have a as called a permit.
Perfect.
So again, they should have a permit. I'm not sure if they do, but officially, if they don't have a permit, it shouldn't be here. This is a fire hazard. You understand? If anything in this alley is on fire, how would you get in here now?
Oh, that's what you mean. Okay. Yeah.
They're blocking the entrance.
Okay.
We are on
famous
Front Street.
And
Let's go down first. I think that's most of the area we want to go down here.
All right.
And again, today part of the road is closed, so you don't see it as much.
What about here?
There are certain places that are places you are legally to put your vehicle. But most of these places are mostly for deliveries also.
Oh.
So you can come here, park your van, park the truck, do your deliveries, and go. So those are not the biggest headaches we're dealing. We're dealing on those who literally on the sidewalk.
On the sidewalk itself. Okay.
I watching you. I watching you on my phone with these two pictures.
My friends.
Go in.
So, of course, during the evening hours is mainly when, persons take a chance.
That's not totally true. During the day, lately, it's only take a chance. It's during the day. Again, we get caught up with the fact that the police can be everywhere. Let's not play the fool. There's priorities, and then there's priorities. The police can be everywhere, every moment. So, during certain times, these guys take the chance knowing that the police are busy with other things, to just park all over. And even though we speak to them 100 times in different languages, the answer is always, I'm just going there for a minute.
No, of course, as far as the cones is concerned, like when there's this police posted.
Let me tell you what the joke happened. One thing caused the other.
Yeah.
Due to the fact that so much persons have been parking on the sidewalk, most of the owners of the properties and decide, something to avoid this in front of my store, I'm going to put a cone. So the one causes the other effect.
Oh, so you could imagine when Front Street is full, the persons walking, they think that the cones are, either by public works or by
None of the above.
police. No.
It's mostly from the owners of the properties.
Wow. Okay.
So if one thing brings another problem for the other, and bring another reaction from the public.
Yeah, because everybody gonna take the law into their own hands, and that's what we're trying to avoid.
Yeah.
Now, of course, this is the famous courthouse section of Front Street, and also the entrance to the famous boardwalk.
And again, for the taxis, they do cooperate most of the time, they do. So we don't have much problem with them. There's also an agreement with them when they could come in, when they could move, and when the chain is down, how to deal with that. That's not an issue. But we're talking about most of those who, like, are parked on the side. Again,
okay, so that's...
Imagine this being a fire truck fire department have to pass on this alley at the moment.
Okay.
And how difficult it is just having that particular van there on the corner.
Okay. You see, so this is what you mean by, persons doing what they want.
Yeah, for them it's convenient. I understand it's convenience.
Yeah, so it's close to the job over there.
Yeah, I will close wherever they're going.
Yeah. Okay, again, people have the tendency of saying, hey, listen, give me 3 seconds, give me 5 seconds.
Give me 5 seconds, I'm just going right there.
I just going there for a couple of minutes. But of course, that is the problem, that's the main problem. Because everybody does it, it creates a chain effect.
I'm gonna even look at the cones. Remember, these are not cones placed by us.
Okay.
And this is a new phenomenon now that the parking on the sidewalk have brought with it.
Yeah, I see. But wow, I've never really noticed them until now.
You didn't notice, right?
I swear, I thought the police is the ones that...
Oh, no. If you notice, most of them advertise their stores and using that as the main way of stopping the others from parking on the sidewalk.
And of course, the different... yeah, because usually parking happens here a lot.
Yes, and that's why these guys, whoever the business is, has gone over to doing this. It's a cause and effect.
All right. Okay, I see it. As far as persons actually being fined for this, is it allowed?
And again, never, the fine is one of the last options we're using now lately. What we're going to do, most likely, we're going to have a conversation concerning the cones.
Yeah.
The community officer, so that's why I'm waiting on him also to reach. He's going to have a conversation concerning the property owners concerning the cones.
Yeah.
Because you just can't take on your own and just close it off either.
Okay, so most of these cones are not supposed to be here.
No, they're not supposed to be. I'm just saying, in not too much words, yes.
Yeah. Okay, also we talked about the alleys.
Yeah.
And also the structures that being... Like for example, look at there, there's not a car there.
They call it alleys. Yeah. I understand. Now, look at the 2 cars blocking the 2 alleys, yeah? You understand? Nobody thinks about the risk if there's a fire in between the alley or to the last building.
Yeah.
How does the emergency service get there?
Yeah.
It sounds easy, yeah, but until something happens, then you would understand.
Okay, all righty. Well, I'm pretty surprised.
Yeah, but again, if you never take the time and look at it, you would understand, yeah?
Yeah.
I understand most likely this is one of the owners, them. He used most likely the sidewalk as his private parking.
Yeah, but you can't do that because this is again...
This is a public walkway. What we have noticed now, because of these tendencies, it forces most of the tourists to walk on the road.
Yeah. While, cars, also traffic, is ongoing traffic all the time. And that's why you said that, it's supposed to be only for ongoing traffic.
Ongoing traffic.
Actually, you know, when you look at the cones, it makes this place really look like bad.
It's something that just happened lately, and again, like I said, cause and effect. The owners don't want them parking in front of the store, but so to avoid that, they start with the cone project. That's what I call it.
Wow. And also, you know, you have some stores that are closed. So right in front of the stores that are closed, people tend to also park in front of that store.
In front of the store.
That's not allowed.
Again, Front Street is no parking area with exceptions. There are exception locations that you can.
Okay.
But on the sidewalk is always a no-no. Let's start there.
Yeah. Like here, for example.
Here still, I think this was the old part of Seaview Hotel. I know this part was like the other hotels has a part where you could park. You could have just, but again, as usual, to drop off and pick up someone. That's where the taxis them use.
Yeah.
They use the corner to avoid stopping the free flow of traffic.
I see. And then what about the parking signs?
There are some signs around, but let's be specific. This is Romy's task, always to replace them. The police have to just show where the signs have to go.
Yeah.
The police do not put up signs. Let's get us specific.
Okay. Police does not
Put up signs. Romy puts up the sign. We give advice where the sign should go.
All right. What about this car? This car is...
Again, the car, if you look at the sidewalk is clearly marked. The part of the sidewalk is where the contest where you'll be able to park. Even the road shows you how.
Okay.
If you notice, this is how, especially for the way the hotel was, so the clients could stop on the side, leave them out in the pass. That was the idea behind it.
Yeah. But now it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Because look, the same way you have tourists walking on the road while here.
While they had to be part of they could have passed.
They could have passed, yeah. Okay.
And we're going to go on this side of the road because these are the main issues we are having.
Yeah.
These are the main issues.
Okay.
This is totally the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And now what it forces them closer to the shop or on the road.
Both. But more on the road.
More on the road.
Yeah. So this is what you mean by...
This is what I totally mean by using the sidewalk as your own private parking space.
Yeah. Okay.
As we go down a little further, you're going to see it only gets more complicated as we go. We're not going to go too far down, but it's just for you to see the idea that what effect it has.
And you know the cones.
And again, you know, as one person see the cones, they're going to do the same thing going all the way down.
Does it, yeah. It causes the chain.
Yeah, cause and effect.
Now this is what I mean, where this business is closed, for example, and then you have a van there, so. Yeah.
The question is, where is he? On the sidewalk.
On the sidewalk. Yeah.
It's literally on the sidewalk.
What's up, my brother?
How you doing, sir? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. We good. So we forcing. Guess now if there's a car here, a car vehicle there, where does the person who walks have to go?
On the road. And yeah, this is straight in front of the church. Oh my God, 4 cars. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you see
not even on the church. My point of view is it's on the sidewalk, people. It's on the sidewalk.
And it's not for a couple of seconds.
As you could notice, these persons most likely are working or waiting for someone somewhere.
Yeah.
If you a couple of seconds, someone would be in the car waiting.
Yeah. And again, this is on the sidewalk.
Totally on the sidewalk.
Yes, on the sidewalk.
And now I'm enforcing me where I have to go now.
Yeah, on the road.
But it's a concept of trying to get the public to understand it has its hazards. Huh?
Yeah.
It comes with its hazards.
And it does. I mean, just take a look at...
and what it caused.
Yeah, everybody just have to walk. And this is what, after 12 o'clock? What time is it?
And today it's good, and it's good still compared to the normal, yeah?
Really?
Yes, it is, because most of the time, now that the cones are there, it forces the cars to keep ahead driving.
Oh.
This time of the day, with this amount of tourists, this whole road will be full with cars, all the way up.
Okay, so what do you want the public to do?
Again, we want to cooperate. We're asking again. We've been asking for the longest a while to assist us in not doing this. This has effects on the emergency service if something happened. And it's not a bad view for Phillipsburg.
Yeah.
The question going to be, yeah, but where you want me to park? The $1,000 question, eh?
Yeah.
There are options if you want to walk, because you can't park by telling parking lot.
Yeah.
It costs you nothing.
Yeah.
Or you go to the paid parking lot, or there's free parking lot on the back of on the Nisbet Road.
Yeah, and the post office also.
Our post office parking lot.
Yeah.
So there are possibilities, but the question is, do you want it?
Yeah. Yeah. I see what you mean. Now, of course, the going into, well, we are in the busy season, so it means that this doesn't help.
This just makes our job a little more complicated. And with that being said, we have reached nearly the end of our rope. We have been tired of talking and conversating and explaining. Sooner or later, you're going to reach a point whereby you have to do something about it. And you can consider it a warning, you can consider it a fact, but we are going to take care of this problem sooner or later.
Yeah.
Our conversation a while ago, most of us don't want the cars on Front Street as long as it's not our car.
Correct.
They don't want the police talking about our car, anybody else's car.
Everybody does. Yeah. Correct.
Not my own.
Yeah. And that causes again a trickle effect, because at the end of the day, it becomes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I just count 6 cars.
6 cars. And the question is, if I find this particular person, guess what the first question is going to be? Why me?
Why me and
not they?
Yeah. Why not me? Yeah. Okay.
We're trying to dumb down the risk of scooters in and out of Phillipsburg because of the robberies we had down Maho in those places. So in the next coming weeks, for sure also, any scooter that comes into Phillipsburg would be tackled. Eh? We're going to try to stop and control.
Okay.
As long as the possibility is there, we're going to stop and control. Again, today is a good day. I don't see much vehicles on the boardwalk, but normally this also is one of the places that we get a lot of headaches with during normal operations, whereby people come on the boardwalk. We understand that you have to do deliveries. My advice is always coordinate this with a community officer. I know the businesses have to go ahead and make their turnover, but if you coordinate this could be easily fixed, that everybody knows how to be on the boardwalk every 15-20 minutes.
Yeah.
Boardwalk has this main issue whereby if there's a tourist area, if someone is not being observant, they can be struck by one of these vehicles that uses the boardwalk as their place to get the driveway.
But I mean, police have been monitoring this for quite some time, and what really made you step up the action now to actually let people know that they should stop these type of practices, because they know it's wrong. Well, I would hope so, that they know that because if you have a vehicle, that means you went to driving school, and I'm sure they told you about the rules. Is this also part of the second-hand vehicle back there?
Again, I see that basically the construction.
Yeah.
If you're going to park here, most likely he's going to need a permit also as normally. So most of the time, that's also regulated.
Okay.
But at the end of the story, it's mostly those who come, drive, park, as if this is their own personal parking space.
Okay. Now, of course, the city said of the action.
Yeah, let's talk about the action a little bit.
Let's talk about that.
The different divisions have come up with a plan for the next coming weeks, and that's why we're asking again to avoid the long faces, the anger, and discussions. We are asking most of those who are coming to Phillipsburg to use the legal parking spaces.
Yeah.
I'm specifically seeing on the legal parking spaces. We
emphasis on legal.
Are legal.
Yeah.
The sidewalks, the alleys are not the legal parking spaces.
Yeah.
They just hinder, giving the community officer and the police only more extra headache that they don't need. And it is a safety issue. They don't see it. They say it as a convenience issue, but it is a safety issue.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, look, we had different examples whereby they had vehicles blocking entrances where, you know, if there's a fire breakout or the ambulance has to come, or even police has to respond to something, they can't even go into
Can't go through the alleys.
the alleys. And that connects everything.
And it is, like I said again, it has a reaction because the shop owners, the business owners are gonna do something else to combat that effect of having their businesses blocked by vehicles.
Yeah. No, I can't imagine that, you know, a person would be driving on the boardwalk
You would be
during
amazed.
the day.
You would be amazed.
I mean, at night, you know, I see, you know, some people take a chance because, you know, the way it's connected, you don't have any boulders, you know, stopping you. So you just take the chance. But that it happens.
There was, it was decided in certain locations where you could have come onto the boardwalk where there was no signage. Specifically, that was one of the places we decided, you know, something at the beginning at the small pier in the beginning, not to put signs there, tell them, listen, you can't go in there to come on the boardwalk. Guess what? What's the use of having a sign and no one really thinks it's not, what value does it have?
Yeah.
And the question gonna be, yeah, but where your police? What are you doing about it?
Yeah.
We can't be all over.
It can't be all over. And you know, sometimes you need citizens to be responsible.
And this is for asking for the responsibility. Be the good corporate citizen.
Yeah.
It's all about that alone.
Yeah.
The police are not there to go find no one. Believe me, that's not our first choice.
Yeah.
We prefer that let's conversate about this. Let's have a talk about this. Let's explain why we shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
It's a carrot and the stick, eh? The stick is the last thing you want to always use.
Yeah. But you know, once they notice that there's no consequence.
The consequences,
you
yeah.
know, people take chances, and I guess that's where it falls.
And the consequences is not the issue. The issue is mostly where the blast light to get to the police, when the police stop in particular, me or you.
Yeah.
As long as not me. Do your job as long as that's not me.
You know, that's a good slogan. I think the police should use that.
Kung priority ba square miss. Okay?
Yeah. Making deliveries. Yeah.
And we ask them also concerning these times, please coordinate it with the community officer, he's on his way now, to avoid them coming doing deliveries in the peak hours.
Yeah. This is peak hours.
This peak hours.
Yeah. Yeah. But, you know. Of course, you know, but like you say, the police can't be everywhere.
Can't be everywhere. Again, this is the community officer of Phillipsburg. Mr. Martes, welcome.
Steph, how are you doing?
I'm good. Mr. Andrew? We were just conversating about the situation in the front street, about the parking in particular, about the new phenomenon with the cones.
Yeah,
we noticed that too.
Yeah.
The one cause the other effect.
We didn't even know that. Yeah.
The store owners also want to put on the cone stuff while they fit up to park in front of the stores, you know, to disturb them for the clients and to walk out. So that's the situation actually occurring. Also the situation with the deliveries, where the guys don't come any hours at a time, park on the sidewalk to deliveries and stuff, you know. Basically on that we make a agreement with them between 8 to 10 o'clock in the morning. They could delivery, I go leave them park, delivery, or park. They have to park in the parking space, yes. Delivery the stuff, and after that time, as we have 4 ships in town, 4 and up, we close Phillipsburg for this kind of thing. Just for the tourism thing. For Phillipsburg, yes.
But it doesn't help also though that they have cars on the side of the vehicle because you know they come early and they park and they leave you know after.
Yeah, the most of the time when we see a car just is disturbing the free flow.
Yeah.
We check the number plate, we send it to the central, see if we can ring it up, see if it was the owner. The owner call the owner, please come in with the vehicle.
Yeah.
till we get through the situation with the tour, you know.
Yeah.
So that we try to use the least
Least
drastic measures first,
Yeah.
the least.
Yeah.
But then again, sooner or later, you reach the end of the rope, and we're about to reach the end of the rope, and we're about to tackle this a little forceful, showing them that we have to do this.
Yeah.
Because right now, it seems that we don't have no control. And that is something community officers dealing with, communications dealing with, the police force is dealing with at the moment. I keep on repeating myself, be a good corporate citizen. Let's get rid of this problem. If you don't need to be in Phillipsburg, then don't come. If you're coming, use the legal parking space that is designed for. Again, try to tell you to move the coach, you got a cause and effect to buy. Now you're going to get the fellas to come and park on the sidewalk again.
Move the coins up this here, right? That's what I'm security. You know, put also the security. I'll follow them before now. That's something I feel they won't come. That's look, sir, you can't show you can't practice. I think what this is. Don't go, we go come inside. It's like your one of the here we go. When it's so you know sorry. Are you good? Anyone? You can go inside.
Let's go.
You can come inside in a bottle.
We're going here? A minute?
Yep.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You good? We are just on a small news press concerning Front Street in particular. Myself, as the communication director and the community officer, with the parking situation that is a disaster on the sidewalk. So that is what we're really dealing with the press now at the moment, trying to tell the population that we need to get this problem solved.
The parking is one, but you know, if you look at the street, for elderly people, they're gonna trip. They're constantly, you know, it's very uneven. You see the cobblestone. That needs to be addressed because on a daily basis, people are tripping.
Yes. So, but again, the issue is the cars that are on sidewalk forces people on the road, and that's our main plight at the moment.
Yeah, so that needs to get addressed big time.
Yes.
But the bollards that we used to have were a great option.
Were a great option, but they decided to change it, so it was something that we are also dealing with at the moment.
Bollards would have been a great option.
It's been a great option.
Yeah.
Thanks again, eh?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
It's been enlightening, and I hope that the public pay attention and also refrain from. As we speak, look, there's a car right there.
Yeah. It is an issue that you try to deal with, and you know what's going to happen tomorrow. Somebody's going to put a cone there.
Yeah, and then it causes the ripple effect.
Yeah, ripple effect.
Yeah.
Park when you're supposed to park, people. Let's take another commercial break. When we come back, more late night.
I'm calling my heart, calling my heart, calling my
Here
heart.
in St. Martin, we take pride in our island and want the world to see us, to hear us, and to dream about us.
Yeah, it's here, certainly. Oh my god, this gotta be the first place with these now. Yeah, this is it. Can I get this one printed, please?
Of course, let me get it ready. There you go.
Thank you, bro. Like, this was really quick and I appreciate it because I'm on the run. Have a good one.
Yes. That is it for Late Night Show. Thank you so much for watching. Until tomorrow, do have a safe and pleasant one. And also, don't forget, Late Night is on tour, so we'll be going places and coming to you from that particular place. Yeah, so look out for the Late Night. We're going places. We go in places.
Viva Las Vegas! Viva Las Vegas! Viva, viva Las Vegas!